Hi, my name is Jessica Kirby, and this is my Patreon. Um, it was so awkward. Okay, I am a 21-year-old fine art photographer, and I'm currently working on a project named The Medusas. And that project focuses on female sexuality, expectations put on women when they enter the world of sex, basically. Just double standards and just living as a woman. So I ask each model every time, while they get their makeup done, I just ask them a series of questions, which are usually the same or they go on a different path depending on the topics that the model brings up. And basically, I just get a brief history of their childhood, their sex life, everything that has to do with living as a woman and double standards and ex-partners, etc., etc. It's always different to each model. Each model decides the aesthetic of the shoot, so they choose the props, they choose the clothing. It's shot in their room, usually. We've done a few shoots here in my room, my messy thing, but usually it's all done in their room. So this Patreon here is basically purely for that project at the moment. I'm really wanting to make it into a book, but obviously we're not there yet, but that's a goal of mine that I would really, really, really like to do, because I know that it's a little bit of a strange thing seeing a really beautiful model and then looking at all of the struggles that they've been through, and like, for example, if they haven't wanted to have sex with the lights on, and you just look at this beautiful woman and you're like, what? Why? And it's just crazy seeing that, you don't judge a book by its cover is what I'm trying to say. But this whole project has really opened my eyes to a lot of things, and especially it's different when you hear about things that are happening and abuse and etc., etc. But when you're looking into a whole human's eyes and they're telling you what has happened to them, it's completely different than just reading it on a news article. So it's been good for me, and I think it's been good for the models. I hope a lot of them have really enjoyed shooting and talking about it, because I mean, it's kind of weird that like a person that they've never met comes into their house, takes photos of them naked, and is like, hey, what's happened to you your whole life? It's kind of strange, but I like it, and I think it's been really therapeutic, and I think that putting them out there and putting them in a book that's more accessible to the public and everything would really help some people. So I want to do that. What I want to do, my next goal is to go to Sydney for the Medusas. So I've shot a lot of lovely women in Brisbane, and I'm wanting to travel to Sydney for a week, and I'll shoot a different model each day, maybe even two a day if I can travel around like that. I've got a place to stay for a week, so I just need to pay for flights and food. I think we are $50 off now, so that's the next goal. That's what I want to do, is go to Sydney for this. And then after that, I have the next goal. I want to go to Melbourne again, for two reasons. One is definitely so that I can shoot with the Medusas, and get a whole bunch of different people again. But a main reason is that because I moved to Melbourne in 2015? 2014. 2015. And I was there for 4 months, and I moved my whole life, and I was ready, and I was going to live there for a few years, and I was going to do galleries, and I was going to get stuff done, and it didn't happen. I guess it's really hard to talk about, actually. Basically, I worked way too hard, and I was just working at a night job. I was working at a bar where people would yell at me, and guys would be gross, and I still remember, there was this band that was just like misogynistic, and it was just awful. Like, it was just an awful experience, and I worked myself into the ground. I was working, like, some days I'd work 12 hours, and just my back would hurt, and I'd get home and I'd do nothing but just die at the end of the day. And I think I did a total of 3 shoots while I was down there for 4 months. 3 shoots. Because I just couldn't. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't do anything. and my mental health got really bad, and I went downhill a lot from there. I'm not gonna cry. I went downhill really bad, and so I had to move back up to Brisbane, and I had to leave everything behind, and I really miss it a lot, but I can't go back because I have everything is here. My family is here, my partner is here, my dog is here. But it is difficult because I really love the city, Melbourne, and I wish that I could go back sometimes, but I just, it's really, really difficult for me to work a normal job, is what I'm trying to say. So Patreon is really, really good because I can work right here in the stuff that I'm wearing right now and just sit here, and I can work at something I love, and I know that people support me for it, and I can do it without burning myself out again, which I feel like would happen if I had to go and get a hospitality job or a retail job or another job where I wouldn't be able to create things like I do, because they're really important to me just to be. And I think that's all I had to say. I think that's all I have to say, is that just this is the place where I feel safest, is on Patreon, where I can post the things that I love and people appreciate them. Even if they're just here for the boobies, they're supporting the boobies and the person that takes photos of the boobies. So every little tiny bit counts. Even if it's just $1, I see one extra person, whole human being that likes and supports my work enough to put their credit card details down and give me $1. And that sounds like nothing, but it means the absolute world to me. I think that's all I had to say. So thank you if you're already a Patreon. I really, really appreciate it, and I'm sorry I'm so awkward and weird on camera, and if you're not already a Patreon, I really hope that this didn't deter you. I just kind of had to get this out into the world. So yeah. Thank you for watching this if you did. I'll see you on Patreon. Bye.